The future is not a result of choices among alternative paths offered by the present, but a place that is created. Created first in the mind and will, created next in activity. The future is not some place we are going to, but one we are creating. From the schoolboy dreaming of big adventures to the scientist envisioning groundbreaking discoveries, we all care to imagine what the future will bring. Many people have attempted to predict the future, others to mould and control it. But what do we really know of the future? How does the past inform it? And what educated guesses can we make about the shape of things to come? To discuss these questions and more, I'm joined by Stephen Merchant, award-winning writer and graduate of the University of Warwick.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington, fucking mong.
Alright.
One prediction for the future, Karl, is from an academic study, what the world will be like in about 75 years from now. And a big prediction they're sort of sure of is that androgyny will rule. There'll be so little difference between men and women, apart from the biology, economically, socially. It won't matter who the biggest breadwinner is, that's already being phased out. If you're in a traditional heterosexual male-female couple, it'll be who stays home, who earns the most or whatever. It won't be governed by gender. And that's getting less and less anyway, as it is now. But soon you won't even need a female or a man in your life. You'll just need the egg or sperm. And you'll be able to have any coupling you want or not. Thoughts, Karl?
That isn't what I've heard.
What were you heard?
I heard that.
So you read an academic study, Rick, but let's find out what Karl's been reading.
I heard we're all gonna go ugly.
Different point though, isn't it? That's a
different point. That not listening to a word Ricky said.
No, it's just if we all sort of go ugly, that will sort the population.
He gets an extra syllable in the word ugly. 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 Ugly.
Yeah, so that just sorts the population out because people aren't sort of having it away left, right and centre.
Well, no, then that doesn't sort of... What do you mean?
Sorry, Rick, I don't understand what the hell he said there.
Are you saying, because everyone's ugly, everyone won't want to have it away more with the ugly person?
Yeah.
Okay, I still don't... You seem to understand what he's talking about, Rick. I'm still confused.
But what he thinks is that if we're all ugly, then we still have this strange paradigm of beauty that won't exist, so we won't fancy anyone as much.
No, they'll still sort of fancy, because at the end of the day we're animals, aren't we?
Yeah.
So we'll still have it away, but not as much as they'd like to do now, because it's all based on looks.
Sorry, but what's this got to do with
what's
what
this
Ricky
world
said?
like? Describe a typical town or country.
It's exactly right. Imagine London, you've still got the gherkin, you've still got the big wheel. It's just everyone's ugly.
Right, and they're doing all the same jobs, are they?
Everyone's still, the world's got to carry on.
What do they look like? What's ugly?
Just imagine, like, haven't you ever seen anyone when you've just gone, look at that?
Yeah.
Right, well, like that.
Yeah, but hold on. It's ugly by today's standards, is it? So I throw forward to 75 years, you'll go, oh, everyone's what we call ugly. But what's happened to society? What do they think of everyone? They won't suddenly go in, isn't it annoying? We've got uglier. Because it's not like
because we have got better looking, haven't we? If I look back now at a school photo, you look at my class and you go, what was going on then? You can't tell the difference between some of the girls and the blokes.
No, but that's not true. Because
it is, honestly. You look at it and you see
nutrition. And I see that, when I see an old episode of Bullseye, I think, Jesus, the men look like rakes with no teeth and a moustache. And they're bald with their hair down like a paedophile. And he goes, now how old are you? And I thought, 52. 52 goes, I'm 22. He what?
Yeah, but that's more because of the sort of people that used to go on Bullseye. I mean, Paul Newman was never going to pop on Bullseye.
No, exactly.
Because he was actually a plumber from, Essex.
And then think of the people that he grew up with, some of them live in holes now.
Yeah.
So, I don't think the class of, Pilkey 1982 doesn't really count. When he said, we've got better looking, I thought he was going to talk about cavemen. Not his school photo. I mean, what happened there? There's been no evolution in that time. What are you talking about, Karl?
We've got better looking now, haven't we?
I wonder if he's confused it with the paradigms of of beauty have changed, haven't they? So in the 50s, Marilyn Monroe was considered, very desirable, whereas that body shape on women, more recently has become less, there's lots of skinny women are seen as a paradigm of beauty. But, so that has maybe changed.
But we will change.
Yeah, we'll change.
Probably not in 75 years.
I mentioned before about, your little finger. There'll come a time when that'll go. I've watched it. I've kept an eye on what my little finger's doing. Sometimes it does nothing. It never helps out. All the others are grabbing older stuff. That one just sort of sits there watching. So you could get rid of that, and I think that will go in evolution.
Think of the books he could have read when he was doing that, when he was monitoring his little finger.
I've been watching my little finger. But again, it's what you mean. 75 years is nothing. The only thing that changes in 75 years is trend, fashion, economics. The gene pool doesn't change unless there's been some sort of really weird mutation due to an external force. That I don't know. For things of science fiction where we all accidentally drank plutonium and got 3 eyes and 1 leg. It doesn't happen that fast. I've told you before, if you shaved a caveman, he's basically us. He's basically us.
Well, he's basically Karl.
yeah. But, the little finger will be, let me tell you, millions of years.
I think what's more interesting about the future, Karl, is the fact that technology integrated with humans will be fascinating. So, for instance, they're talking, about the fact that in the future we may even be able to have chips in our head that allow us to access the internet, or an equivalent of it, directly, mentally.
So imagine that. To say, not French fries.
But hang on though, at what point are we us then?
Yeah, this is good.
Go on.
No, because if I can go on the internet at any time, then that's going to know more than me.
What does that mean?
Okay.
When I don't know an answer to something now, which is a lot of stuff.
Really?
Go on.
You watch University Challenge, and the stuff them kids on that know. I just think, where have they stored that? Where's that gone in their head? How have they left that somewhere, and it's just sat there waiting to be used? For me, if something doesn't get used within a time period, that's it.
But again,
it's forgotten about.
Okay, that's application and training and all that.
I think
But basically, you've got about the same hardware
I haven't,
as those people.
Honest to God, I haven't. I know I haven't.
Your brain capacity
it's not the same as theirs. It's not the same.
Well, you might not be what's considered as academically intelligent as them, but again, an awful lot of it is, nurture more than nature. Your brain's good. Your brain is up there. Don't worry about that.
Well, it isn't. But listen, so what I'm saying is, if I want to know the answer to something, I go on the internet.
Yeah. Right.
Now, if I've got a chip in my head with Google on it, I'm never going to use my head. I'll just be forever on Google. Well, I'm not, because what's the point?
Your head is, though?
Because I'm going to get it wrong. The chances are I'll get it wrong, so divert that. It's like saying...
No, you can't bypass the brain straight to Google. When you're having a chat socially, it's not like they're going, all right, Karl, how are you? And you're not there. You're asleep, and Google's talking. I think you'll find that they're...
No, only
do you want to see naked ladies?
No, only for questions, though, that I don't know. But what I'm saying is, because I don't know a lot of the answers, I'll just say, forget it, leave it connected to Google. So then I'm not me anymore.
Well, what are you doing? Where's you gone?
I'm looking at Google.
So it is you.
No, but what Steve just said is, we'll have a chip in our head.
Right.
That can access the internet.
Right.
So why bother using your own
But you're still
knowledge?
the go-between. You, Karl, are the go-between between the internet and whatever your mouth says.
You can't beat the internet.
Yes,
it knows everything.
No, you're accessing the information like it was part of your brain capacity, but you're still processing and using that information.
But hold on, where does Google get the information from in the first place?
One of them bright people on University Challenge has put it on.
Yeah, a human being.
So, but I'm going to get lazier. I don't watch University Challenge and go, I want to be like them, I'm going to start reading books. I've accepted, I'm never going to be like them. I can't play along. All I tend to do is I say to Suzanne, right, so every question now, I'm going to have egg as the answer. And I'm hoping that one day...
What an amazing game! What an amazing intellectual pursuit that is!
What a lucky lady.
What does Suzanne say to that?
Well, she just sees if it works. She just plays along, and then I'm saying, oh, it might be this one or whatever.
I love that, because I remember once, it was about 5 years ago, Karl and Suzanne were round near Christmas, and me and Jane were there. We were playing different parlour games, like charades and that. And then one game, you have to do that thing where you have to beat, and you have to do animals, and you have to go, first one is A, then B. So you say aardvark, next one goes beaver, next one goes cat. It came to Karl, he panicked, and he went egg.
And he was on egg. So you're sat there watching University Challenge, and on a good night, it's, well-known jeweller of Fabergé's, well-known for his jewel-encrusted egg. Humpty Dumpty is commonly pictured as a living egg. Sometimes
if you keep saying the same thing, eventually, it's like a broken watch.
Karl Pilkington's head looks like hay.
Yeah.
I've just got more chance of getting it right.
Sure.
But also, he told me when he plays University Challenge, he said he's given up ever trying to get an answer. So now he tries to guess who's going to answer the question. Another great game. Suzanne's roped in on. Unbelievable. How would you do with that?
That's not.
I'm normally all right on that.
Normally all right on
There's got to be something else.
There's another evolution thing though. When you watch brainy people on that, or wearing glasses.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? We are reading too much. We're wearing the eyes out. And that you can't argue with that because the evidence is there.
Can.
Most people on University Challenge, which is a quiz show if people don't have that in the country. It's the brainiest quiz of all time, and to be honest, I don't know why they don't go on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or something, because they'll get a better prize than what do they win on University Challenge?
Because they'll be stitched up by a question of who's in Hollyoaks. It will be the
But that's the snobbery as well.
It'll be what character does Andy Lincoln play in this life, and they won't get it, and you'll go egg, and you'll be correct.
But that's the thing, isn't it? This snobbery on like braininess. The way that if you're a specialist in I don't know what something.
Well, no, don't help him. Go on, finish. You've started a conversation. You're halfway through a sentence. You've got a point.
You can't bail out now.
Okay.
Say if you're a specialist in
go on.
Latin tattoos.
Latin tattoos!
Don't know what that is.
What Latin tattoos? I didn't know you wanted something so specific.
So that's a tattoo you have on your arm with Cogito ergo sum underneath, or is it a
Just
tattoo?
any sort of, well, it's the only reason Latin's still alive, isn't it?
Right.
Tattooists. So you go on Mastermind.
Yeah.
And people will go, oh, he's clever, isn't he? You got 40 correct in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Now, if you go on and say any questions about Coronation Street between 1990 and 92, people go, oh, he's a bit of a knob. Because there's a snobbery to education.
Yes. There is.
But a question is still a question, isn't it?
Well, to a certain degree, although, yeah, that's fine. But there's no application to knowing who played Enid Sharples, whereas presumably there is something useful in
well, not perhaps Latin tattoos, because
none
of us understand exactly what that is. But if you have knowledge of astrophysics, obviously that's going to be, as Ricky says, it's going to take more application to become an expert on that than watching Coronation Street twice a week.
But it's still information that you've had to learn.
You've not learned it, though, have you? You've just sat down in front of the telly and it's just piped into your brain very directly and very easily and enjoyably. Let's say the people working on that microchip that one day you'll have in your brain, are they not doing something more interesting and valuable for society than the Coronation Street fella?
No, because Coronation Street that fella who knows a lot about it. He's enjoying his time watching that.
Oh, well, I'm saying he's not enjoying it.
So he's enjoying it, but a brain in a jar can be enjoying it if it doesn't know it's a brain in a jar.
Right. So what you asking me?
But we were talking.
Didn't seem a difficult point what we were saying.
What I mean is...
Okay, one more go. What do you mean?
The chip in the brain isn't part of filling your head with stuff, the journey of filling it with that stuff.
What do you mean?
Whereas if you had a baby, the baby pops out, it cries a bit, they go, right, what do you want your baby to be interested in? And you say, I want it to be a plumber. You go, right, when it's 2, we're going to stick a plumber chip in its head.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not right, is it?
No. No. I don't know why you chose plumber, either.
Well, we still need plumbing.
Yeah, I know we do, but...
It's odd that they would have chosen plumbing. They've got such... Such kind of small ambitions for their
It's what his granddad did, and they want the sort of the thing to go through the business. They own a plumbing business. They want the baby to carry on the business of the plumbing.
They want the baby to be able to plumb.
It goes on now where parents force the kids into riding horses, and you see the kid without the parents about, and you go, "Do you like horses?" And they go, "No, not really. Being forced to get on a horse. Can't stand them."
Yeah.
And people would go, "That's wrong. The kid should have the freedom to decide if he wants to get on a horse or not."
That's right. Yeah.
Well, what about this chip in the head?
But you've made this up.
You've made the scenario up.
They're not putting chips in babies' heads.
I thought you said they were.
No,
when did I say that?
No.
Said that.
I think Steve's right, and I don't know, I haven't read it, but I imagine he's saying it's the next step in convenience with technology and an interface between a human and a research tool or fun. You know, computers went from being the size of a room to a thing you can wear on your watch. So the next step may be, you won't forget your Palm Top, you won't forget your iPod, you won't forget your laptop. It's in there, it's an interface.
I know, but it makes us lazy.
But you straight away thought that now that it went to some sort of weird laboratory where it's all white and there's just a doctor and everyone's in a silver suit, right? And they go, "We're removing the self. We're removing the self and putting in chip. You are now computer boy."
Yeah,
I want to watch Coronation Street. Well, you won't in a few seconds. But I hate Coronation Street, me.
Carl, it's not a question of. It's not that Google is now Carl. It looks like Carl, but it's just spouting, little pop-ups about offers you can buy and cheap holidays here and there.
He's not the man I'm married.
Right, look at it like this.
Jesus.
Look, I see it all the time now.
Go on.
You go, "Where are you going?" to someone, and they go, "I'm going to Dorset."
Aye.
"Oh, aye, what road are you taking?" "Dunno, just pop on the sat-nav." Now, that's a start, isn't it?
Okay. Let's act that out with me, okay? I'm going away for the weekend, Karl.
Are you?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Dorset.
Oh, yeah. How are you getting there?
Car.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, which way are you going?
Dunno. Why do you want to know?
Oh, just making a friendly chat. I'm interested in geography. Which way are you going?
Well, I don't know really. I've got a sat nav in my car, and I want to get in there. And what do you know? What?
Bit lazy, isn't it?
Well, I'm not a pigeon. I don't.
I mean, you got an A to Z.
Well, yeah, but it's on a computer the A to Z. What's the difference between looking at an A to Z and?
It's a bit lazy, though.
Not really. No. Why? Why is it any different that I've got it computerized so I can go along? The A to Z's a bit dangerous, isn't it? It's a bit. Don't have to go to A to Z when you're driving along.
Clive, who are you talking to? Because we need to hit the road. We need to get going.
Well, it's this fucking idiot who wants to know what road I'm taking, which is a fucking boring thing to ask anyway.
Sorry, who is this twat? Because we really got to get going.
He's a fucking dickhead who I think he's an A to Z salesman by the door. I mean,
just tell him we're using the sat nav because it's the quickest, most efficient way to do it.
It's the quickest, most efficient way of doing it.
No, but look what's happened.
Who the fuck are you?
Would Columbus found America if he'd had a sat nav?
Yes!
No, he wouldn't.
He'd have put in America and he would have taken it to America.
He only found it because he got lost. Now, if everybody just
Hold
goes...
Hold on. How would an undiscovered country be on a sat-nav?
No.
Go on.
But I just
What's
mean...
the difference between the sat-nav and the map in that regard?
Because I've found some lovely little cafes on roads I've never been on.
Gone from finding a continent to a little cafe.
I love that.
Little greasy
I am off to discover the unknown world. Where are you going? Well, I don't know yet. It's the unknown world. What are you taking? Just a boat. No, lazy swim, you cunt. I love the fact that he's so Luddite now, he's annoyed at the sat-nav. I mean, you'd have probably given Columbus a hard time. Oh, got a compass. Don't you know where north is, you twat?
I just think there's something in being lost. I never feel lost. I just think, I've had a diversion. Because you find new things. I'm forever going down...
Suzanne's asking the French peasant where the...
just think, Columbus...
Alright, what's the most interesting thing you found when lost?
Like I say, I found a shop that was like a fancy dress shop.
Amazing.
Do you need fancy dress stuff?
Dressed up as Columbus and went and bought a sat-nav. Went to Dorset for the weekend.
You never go out. Why do you need a fancy dress shop? That sounds like the one thing you would hate is fancy dress.
Yeah, but I like looking at they had like a space helmet in there.
Right, so you found a fancy dress shop. Where were you supposed to be going that you had time to get sidetracked and go in a...
I think I was going to a meeting. We'll just cut
Amazing, that's the last time.
You don't want to get lost.
You don't want to get lost, do
because
you?
I always give myself loads of time because I get lost a lot. I always give myself...
Get a sat-nav.
No, I'm just saying, that's how you find little treats along the way, and next time you pass it, or next time someone says, do you know where the fancy dress shop is? You can go, yeah, I do.
You go, I have no idea because I was lost. I didn't know where it was.
No, normally I learn.
I'm not going to tell you, lazy cunt. Haven't you got an AZ? Oh, that's harsh.
Yeah, find it yourself, you lazy twat.
Well, I might get lost. Good. You might find another one.
It just goes back to the chip thing in the head. I think you've got to learn along the way. We can't get lazy. We can't have chips in the head knowing how to plumb. That's what it's all about, isn't it? And making mistakes. If you make a mistake, I've done some wiring, got a little shock. Won't happen again.
It will. I've seen that experiment with you before.
So,
what have you learned? You keep going on about all this learning. What have you learned?
What have you learned? Okay, sum up mankind's foray into the future. I want this. This will be the introduction to a book about the future. It will then be read in 100 years' time and go, Karl Pilkington was the most prophetic genius that's ever walked the earth. These are his words from 2010.
Just some predictions. Just
sum it up. Just sum it up. I believe. Start off with. I, Karl Pilkington, believe that mankind in the future will. Okay, start off with that
sentence. And then what? Just have like a top 5.
Well, no, or just.
Well, maybe just predictions.
Just predicting.
Yeah.
So
and then a little thing to remember. And remember ye this. So I, Karl Pilkington, predict that in the future mankind will. Start off with that. Start off with that sentence. I've given you that one.
All right, I'm Karl, and the future.
He's already gone off road.
It's a scary place, but the future's going to happen. Right? There's no getting away from that.
Yep. Okay, your predictions are.
Well, we're all.
It's not a soundbite.
Keep going.
Hang on a minute.
Give him space.
It's in a book. I've got to think about. I don't want to get it wrong.
Think first. Think and then say it. Okay, starting from now. These words of wisdom will be inscribed on a wall of a museum one day. Proceed.
Wall of a laboratory, will it?
I think trousers are going to be stopped being made. Just because you see kids now, they've got pants around their ankles. They're going further and further down. So I think that's evolution, just getting rid of the trouser.
Right.
It's just dropping naturally.
That's the evolution of the trouser because it's dropping incrementally
well, you see now,
down
you can
the
see
arse.
kids' underpants, so they're just dropping.
Yeah.
I think they'll get to a point when they just don't bother wearing them anymore.
Right.
Prediction 1.
Okay,
that's an amazing one.
They'll stop making trousers in the future.
Okay. We're going to get weaker. That's already happened. They used to say, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Now they're saying eat 5 fruits.
Right.
So we've definitely that's evidence. You can't argue with that. I'll probably put that first because it goes right. What's number 2? So swap that round.
Okay, that's number 1.
Give them the pants second.
Yep.
I'm gonna die.
Okay, number 3.
They used to say, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. They used to say, pull your trousers up. Now they say, put them down, you can. I've never had such fucking dribble.
Number 3.
Right, number 3. Oh, the scholars are now waiting with bated breath when they find this old scroll, and they go, ooh, what can number 3 be?
I reckon we'll blend all our food.
Oh God!
No, because
he was going to make a point about race. What
No.
is it? I never thought it would be. We'll blend all our food.
like they do for babies, you mean?
I just think when you think about all the stuff we eat now, cavemen chewing on big lumps of meat.
Yeah.
We had wisdom toeth.
Yeah.
Now they say, well, take them out, you're not using them.
Yeah.
Why not using them? Because your food's soft.
Yeah.
Sorbet.
Yeah.
Soups.
Yeah.
You know, everything's softer, isn't it? When you get an avocado, they say, is it soft? Everyone's squeezing the food before they buy it.
Yeah.
No one wants anything tough.
Yeah.
So I think chewing is a sort of thing of the past. We haven't got the time to chew. Everyone's like, hurry up, eat that. You don't have to go out for dinner with Ricky. He's like, hurry up. Like, I'm still eating it.
Well, he does blend his food, I think. Okay, so blending food.
Great.
I reckon, what else do we do now? So I've done teeth. Done trousers. I've come up with this idea. These sort of like glasses, but you can live wherever you want to live.
What do you mean?
Everything that's real, you're not looking at that anymore. This is really the future. I'd put this at number 10. This is like...
We're only doing 5, fuck me.
So what you mean is that you look through the glasses and instead of seeing what the real world, you see a tropical paradise.
What you want to see. So if you're a young kid and you like the idea of living in the urban ghetto with all graffiti on the walls and that, you can see that.
Yeah, but hold on, are you walking around? Because you'll be bumping into stuff, won't you?
No.
Why not?
No, what you mean is that the stuff that's there in the real world is being digitally reimagined in your glasses, so what was a nice country lane is suddenly now an urban ghetto.
It's got loads of graffiti on it.
Sure.
Absolutely mental, pointless, will never work. Absolutely one of the maddest things you've ever said.
Really weird, that one.
Yeah,
It could be done. I reckon it could be easily done.
Why would it be? Okay, that last one, that's number 4, that's a load of bollocks. So what's number 5?
There'll be more letters in the alphabet.
Why?
Why?
Because we're running out of words now, aren't we?
No, we're not running out of words.
No, we are. We are definitely running out of words.
It's using the letters we've already got and making new words.
Yeah, we're making,
No, but we haven't got enough now.
Of course we have. Have you any idea? You could have a word with 9 L's before you run out.
Yeah, and they do in Wales and what have you. That's because their alphabet is shorter than ours. They've only got something like 24 letters over there.
Right.
But they go mental with the L. Now what we do is, we've got 26 letters, but we are now struggling.
We're not struggling at all.
We are.
We're not. Let me say stupid.
Boswallocks. In shampoo. Now there's a word where they've gone, well, we've invented something here. What? We've got something we're putting in shampoo.
Boswallocks?
Boswallocks.
Have you just made that up?
No, it's now they go, I knew with Boswallocks and ceramide R. Yeah, but that's a new word because they have to, they come with a new word.
But it's a terrible word.
Why?
Boswallocks.
Isn't that the word?
Is that real? You've missed out.
No, I haven't. That's a real word.
Yeah.
Now this is what I'm saying. So years ago when they came up with all the sensible ingredients,
go on.
Sodium. That sounds that sounds all right.
He likes sodium. He doesn't like Boswallocks.
Because it sounds like something in it, like an ingredient.
Well, yeah, but that's because you're used to it.
Is this a load of Boswallocks? Are you winding me up?
No,
the two
it's
of you?
real.
It's real, and that's because 26 letters. We've wasted them. Years ago, we went mental with the, pneumonia, sticking a P on it. And there's loads of words where you go, what's that letter doing in there? Whereas now, they can't do that. They've gone, whoa, pull that back, why is that letter there? And now you've got stuff like abbreviations and stuff.
Yeah.
Let's not waste letters. Let's just control it a little bit. Cars are called things like, GTI or something, because they're going, well, I can't think of a word to call this. So they're giving them letters. Think of a word now. Think of a word that hasn't been made up.
What do you mean?
Tell me a word that hasn't been made up.
All words have been made up.
No, one that hasn't. That could be used. Say if I invent something now to put in shampoo, what can I call it? Quick.
Cranberry.
No, it's too close to that. No, we can't get that past the advertising person.
Scrimpton.
Scrimpton.
Yeah.
It took Ricky 2 goes and you accepted his second one.
Well, I think we've sorted out the future.
Wow. Since, obviously, the days of Nostradamus, there's been many people who've tried to foresee the future. Karl, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but there's endless, predictions. Apparently there are other planets that may collide with ours. There's some scientific basis on this. And obviously, I don't know if you've seen the posters for that recent film, 2012. Well, that's based on this notion of some kind of Mayan calendar, which supposedly predicts the end of the world as being 2012. But if you knew with certainty that today was the end of the world, how would you spend that final day? I mean, this seems weird to me, but I think I'd like to experience a lot of the extremes of existence. So, for instance, I've always wanted to smash up a bar. Do you know what I mean? It's strange, but I've always wanted the exhilaration of just smashing all those bottles, like you see in a film.
But would you enjoy it as much, knowing that you're going to die in 8 hours?
I don't know, I suppose it's the sense of abandon, you know? I mean, maybe I'd murder a person. You know, just see, you know, I don't know, but I think I'd probably go mental. Because I've always been a very reserved person, you know, I've never got into a fight, I've never caused a rumpus.
Yeah, but that's a worrying thought, because we don't have to have the end of the world for it to be the end of your world, because a lot of people know that they're terminally ill, so they don't go around smashing up bars and killing people.
But I suppose I know there'll be no repercussions ultimately, because the next day everyone's gone, so there's not going to be mourning families.
But then how dare you deprive that person of his last 8 hours or 10 hours of life?
I don't care, because it's the last day on Earth.
Well, that's true.
I know the moral guilt that I'll feel is over in a few hours.
Morality isn't relative just to repercussion, is it? Because
no, but the point is
you do things without repercussion. But often people say, you know, what would you do if you never got caught, or would you do it if there is repercussions for that person, as grave as they might be, just because you feel that it's no big deal either way, that they're only going to live another 8 hours, they might feel differently. And you're saying, well, you won't care because you won't be around. But then, why do people care about their loved ones when they won't be around? Why do people get a will ready?
Because my point is that they know that those people will continue to live for an indeterminate amount of time.
So you do care about the other person's feelings?
Of course I do. Oh, no, of course I do. But my point is, knowing that everyone is going to be wiped off the face of the earth the following day, all those repercussions are no longer quite the same.
I'd find it hard to divorce myself from my morality that's ingrained just because it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, I honestly, to me, it seems that we're approaching just the end of all things, and so I'm saying that there's something about the fact that we're all going to end that somehow seems very liberating.
What would you do?
I've always wanted to kick a duck up the arse.
Obviously the future is relative. Us talking now, the future is one thing, the past is another, but to someone in the past, we are in the future. So, Karl, if you could go back into any era, okay, you are what you are now, you are you as you sit there now, your age, with all your memories and all your input and all your advantages on ages gone by, and all your advantages over people gone by, where would you go? What would you do? Don't worry about ramifications, like if you squash a butterfly, you come back here and we're all speaking a different language and...
Yeah, but I don't believe all that.
Of course you should.
They should have picked something better than a butterfly. The thing about if you kill a butterfly, there's a volcano somewhere.
Right.
There.
Okay, what did that noise mean? Yeah.
It's just passing the buck, isn't it? It's kind of like blaming a butterfly. They only live about a day, so you blame it and it's dead anyway and there's no evidence left. It's a stupid argument.
Is that the theory? Is that the theory that you're blaming a butterfly for a volcano? I'm not sure that's it, is it?
Yeah, it wafts its wings and it causes...
Right, when a butterfly wafts, if you stop the waffery, then the whole world has changed, because there was no waft on a certain day. Okay, but that means that everything's part of the causal web. It's a model for determinism. So things do, yeah, of course things have an effect on everything else.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's a bad example. The butterfly doing its wings.
Well, no.
Something
that butterfly might have flown in through a car window and frightened someone, and they crashed.
Use a wasp.
Why is that preferable?
Because you do panic. I've been in a car when there's a wasp knocking about. It's terrifying. I can see how that could cause a disaster. But a butterfly, you just go open the other window.
I love that you've won him over to that theory now, just by substituting a butterfly and a wasp. You think back to perhaps when you were a teenager, or even before when you were growing up. You had visions, I suppose, of your own personal future and how that would play out. How you could change the way you lived your life in order to affect the future. I mean, I'm very lucky in some regards, in that one of my ambitions was always to be involved with comedy.
Yeah.
And I was always particularly excited about that, and I was lucky that I've managed to achieve that. A lot of people don't even know what they want from their future.
Well, the other thing is that when you dream of where you'll be in 20 years' time, you don't change the future. You don't change the buildings, and you just think of yourself sort of richer, having a happier life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So,
and also, I was always slightly more handsome in the future. Whereas I kept imagining I would grow a little more handsome. People kept saying, my grandmother would keep telling me, you'll fill out. When you fill out a bit. She was obsessed with me filling out. This is why she would feed me endlessly. The idea that somehow if I was less gangly.
Yeah, it worked with me though.
Yeah, you really filled out.
I filled out, yeah. It's funny because, I still forget what I look like now, in the present.
Yeah.
In my head, I still look like I used to look. Then I catch a little glimpse of myself in the shop window and go, who's that fat old? Oh. No. You know what I mean? I'm so much better.
But you did have you've journeyed a long way. I mean, you, good looking lad, and it's preposterous. I mean, everyone I work with or meet who's seen a picture of you as a teenager doesn't understand it. I mean, I pretty much look the same, you know what I mean? I haven't changed much. I'm still a constant disappointment to myself in a way, you know. I mean, I put on a tuxedo, that's the best I'm ever gonna look, and I don't look like James Bond. Yeah. Whereas you at least had a moment where you looked around. I mean, honestly, it's Jane I feel sorry for. Because, I mean, she did not sign up for this.
Well, we've all changed.
I've seen pictures of her in the past, she ain't changed much.
No, I don't mean that.
Whereas
I mean, we've all changed. We all changed. Karl used to have hair.
Yeah, but you, by your own admission, had it for long. You didn't have hair for long, did you? You started
it wasn't. Didn't want to hang around my hair. It was never. I've told you, it didn't feel needed, so it went. I never did anything with it. It was hair of a Chinaman, wasn't it? Even the hairdresser said. He said, you can do nothing with this. So what do you mean? He said, it's just it looks sort of limsy.
Limsy! Sorry, was that's a...
Limp or flimsy, I reckon.
Well, no, Limsy is a Chinaman, that gave his name to the limp hair, of the Chinese.
So you think your hair bailed on you because it was not getting treated well enough?
I think that's true. I think that's how it works. But yeah, I know what you mean. I sort of think about if I've changed and that, but I don't think I have that much. I still have the same sort of thoughts. I like olives now, which I didn't like probably 3 years ago.
Right, wow.
But you can, if you eat 4 in a row, you get a taste for them, and I thought, go on then, I'll have 5. And I thought, yeah, they're alright, these. So that's different, but other than that, I mean,
So what were your dreams and ambitions when you were young?
Didn't have any.
Right.
It was kind of...
5 years old, what do you want to be? What was your thoughts for the future?
I didn't worry. At 5 years old, you're not worrying about work and that.
10. What's your hopes and fears of all these years? I met in thee tonight.
I wasn't worrying about work till about 13, 14. I was thinking, right, you know, people who I knew had left school. They weren't getting work. And I was thinking, I don't want to be like that. That's when I did boxing. You know, I could have gone down that route. Got into boxing, didn't I?
How many fights do you have?
Don't know, about 3 or 4.
Yeah.
How long when does brain damage kick in?
I guess it can. I guess it can happen almost instantly. I mean, that must be. Must have been part of it.
Did you really get a bad beating on one of those fights?
Yeah, Leroy gave us a right good clackering.
Clackering. Yeah, the thing is, your jab was a bit limsy, but Leroy's was clackering.
Then there was the dancing.
I don't remember this. What, breakdancing?
Well, I did that. I did a bit of body popping.
Yeah. But did you ever really think that you might do this in the future?
You never know, do you?
But did you, at the time, do you remember thinking, I wouldn't mind doing this professionally?
I must have thought that for me to go, well, let's try and join, you know, Twiggy's dance club and all that. And, my mum and dad always sort of, you know, if you want to give it a go. With the boxing, you know, my dad was saying, right, I'll get you the proper shoes and that, and my mum's like, don't bother getting him them yet. Let's see if he sticks at it for like 4 months, because they were about 30 quid for the shoes.
Let him carry on in my furry slippers.
Then with the dancing, it was the same thing. I said, I need some leg warmers and that. And,
these tights are just as good, come on.
No,
pop on your nan's tights.
My dad gave me, like he cut, like, the sleeves off a shirt.
Amazing.
And that were your leg warmers?
Yeah.
Amazing.
But it's funny, when you're a kid, it don't bother you.
But surely cut them off a jumper.
No, I don't know why. I know it looked daft. I had cuffs on leg warmers.
That's amazing!
But when you're a kid,
What did they
you
think
roll
they
them up.
triggers?
It must have looked like Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen doing a handstand.
But then, that didn't last long, and then my dad, I was getting older now, and he's like...
Dad needed his shirt back for a wedding.
Yeah, as long as he didn't take his jacket off, it was fine.
yeah. Dad, I'm losing my hat, I need a hat. Dad, I don't need a bloody hat. Pop my pants on, Fed.
But then, you've got to make sure you try and get a job, and school was sort of saying...
So 15 now.
But hang on, why did you stop going down Twiggy's?
Well, it was shut, wasn't it?
Amazing.
Oh, it closed down?
It closed down, it had a load of toilet rolls in there, it'd been turned into like a storage unit. I've never really had like a dream, I've just bumbled along. Because, like I've said, it's that thing of
Clackered,
sort of...
Limsy. It's like, call my fucking bluff.
There's no point sort of wishing for too much, because if you don't get it, you'll be fed up. So it's better just to sort of go, well, let's see what's around the corner. This is what I've said to you about a sat-nav system.
Right.
It's the same thing. Yeah, sure, have the sat-nav, type in where you want to go, and it'll take you straight there. But what I say is, use the back streets. Have a look around, turn off, don't go straight ahead, turn right. The little dead ends.
Yeah,
have a look.
Where you might get mugged.
Have a look.
Don't go down the dead ends.
Why not?
You've got to reverse back out.
There's nothing there. Dead end.
No, but have a look.
Well, there's nothing there. It's dead end.
What's the road doing there then?
Well, it's a dead end.
Yeah, but there must be something down there.
There's nothing. It's dead. It's just ends.
Just a wall.
Right, so it's not a problem. Reverse.
Well, don't go down in the first place if you know it's a dead end. Don't tell people to go down a dead end. They've got to reverse out. Difficult.
Well, I'd say just have a look. You see, that's the difference between me and you. I'd have a look down the dead
it's
end.
Dead end. No, don't worry. It's
What's
dead
down
end.
there?
There's nothing, mate. It's dead end.
Rubbish? Just
Yeah, no,
rubbish?
nothing. Dead
Nothing
end.
at all?
Yeah, no point going there. Dead end.
Right, so I'll go, well, I'll just have a look for myself, because I don't believe you.
Okay, well, go on then.
Right, I'll have a look.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this I've found.
What have you found?
Box of money that you didn't know about. All I'm saying is it could be
He
anything.
has still got the brain of a 10-year-old, hasn't he?
Money.
He's still got the brain of a 10-year-old.
I'm just... set your stall out.
Right. So where's the store? Where are you setting the store? Not in the dead end.
Because there's no through traffic.
Thoroughfare, yeah. You want to be on
This
a
is
sort of
crazy.
public highway. Where are you setting the stall out? What are you selling? What are you selling?
Well, this is what I'm saying to you.
What are you selling
I'm
first?
selling a mixture of stuff.
What? Like what?
All sorts.
What have you bought it with? A bag of money you found in the dead end?
Leg warmers.
Right, you got new leg warmers with do you want cufflinks with them? What? Do you want cufflinks with them leg warmers? Well, no. Why would I do that? Well, you got to fucking look smart, ain't you cunt?
So you're selling. What are you selling?
So you set your stall out.
Yeah.
Right.
Now,
Yes.
isn't it dangerous to sell all the same product in that shop?
Right.
Okay,
I don't know what you're talking
where's the
about.
analogy going? This is
Yeah.
a metaphor. I think it's a metaphor.
Yeah.
Of similes.
What
Yeah,
are you selling? What are you selling first? Bang. 2,
hang on.
3, 4.
No, but
Quick,
this is
it's
what
the
I'm saying
apprentice.
to you. This is what I'm saying
Go
to
on.
you, though. I
Right.
just said to you,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I don't know what you wanted to do. You haven't told me. But
Right.
I'm
Do you want me
saying...
to tell you what I wanted to do when I wanted to be... Well, at 5 years old, I wanted to own a sweet shop until my mum said, you got to buy the sweets first. Right. From 10, I wanted to be like a scientist. 15, a vet kicked in.
But at
Carry
some
on.
point you jettisoned all of that to try and pursue a pop career.
20, I wanted to be a pop star. 25, I thought I'd better get a job.
Well,
At 30, I did.
me saying turn off the main road and do a right
Yes.
is saying just have a look around in the same way that if you go into a
It's a
shop...
metaphor, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Right.
it was, yeah.
Yeah.
In the same way that if you go into a shop, you're thinking I'm getting a quarter of bonbons.
Right, bombs. Bombs.
But by the time you get to the counter...
You're clackered.
And you get some licorice all sorts instead because you thought, actually, I forgot about them.
Sorry, no, this isn't a metaphor, is it? This is a real shop now, isn't it?
I just mean you're gonna be let down. You're gonna be very, very disappointed with life if you know.
But I haven't been disappointed with that.
If what?
The thing you're aiming for
Yeah.
doesn't happen.
But what if it does happen? I'd like to take issue with this, because there's a lot of young people who listen to our podcasts, and if they listen to this tripe, that if you try for something in life, it won't happen, so don't bother, I think it's a bloody disgrace.
No.
Imagine if Leona Lewis had thought that when she went on the bloody X Factor. She wouldn't have got punched by that bloke in that... Alright, that doesn't make sense. But you know what I mean? She would not be living her dreams.
Yeah, but we don't know what Leona wanted to do. She might
She
have had a
wanted to be a
backup
singer,
plan.
that's why she's done it.
She might have had a backup plan.
Yeah, but she fulfilled the main ambition, which was to sing. That's why she went on the show. She didn't go there because she thought I might want to work down a branch of Waterstones.
Do you think she went in there and said, quarter bombs? She's like, oh, this is X Factor. But she went, oh, go on then.
Well, I was saying.
Well, what about the girl who looked like a fat baby? She went on there with a dream. It's not going to happen.
Oh, yeah!
But the point is, I'm not saying you all have to go on the X Factor if you're a hopeless idiot. I'm saying if you've got a little bit of talent and you pursue it, it might take you somewhere. If you want to be a vet or a doctor or a pop star, you might have a chance. You may as well have a stab for it than say, oh, it's alright, I'll just sit around in my underpants.
Yeah, they're doing a new one, the X-ray Factor, where you can actually, become a top radiologist.
But I've said this for an idea. I think they should do that. Because how many singers do we need in the world? You see, that's the thing. We're talking about the future. Yeah. I think we're not going to talk anymore. I think it's going to be like living in an opera. The way things are going on now, everyone wants to sing.
Yeah.
Whereas, if you did a TV programme to try and get a doctor,
X-ray Factor.
It's all about, getting in young kids, do live surgery. There's big queues anyway. People are queuing up to have operations done.
Yeah.
So you say, look, Hilda, you have got a problem with your left bunion. You can either wait for your proper doctor and hospital, but it's going to be a 2-year waiting list.
Or you can have Jedward do it for you.
Are you free Saturday night, live?
Because we've got 2 17-year-olds who are going to do it.
Hilda! She comes out.
It's a little voice. I've never heard him do a little voice before.
So
okay. So this is what is this? This is a talent show where people can have a go at being a doctor.
Yeah.
Right, well, this is like something from the Middle Ages.
But they need volunteers who would rather have an apprentice, someone have a go.
Well, it's not even an apprentice, it's someone with no training at all.
Yeah.
They learn how to do major operations in a week.
But no, not major ones, that's for the final. You do
of course, you got to build up to that, sure.
But you're building
heart transplant for the final.
So anyway, so it's Hilda, and Hilda's not the person, she's not operating, she's just the person who needs a bunion removed.
She's the foot problem, yeah.
So she comes in, they have a quick chat with her.
Have a chat with her, how's your life been? Bit of Coldplay under her. She's going, oh, it's terrible, I can hardly walk and all that, and they go, right.
Here's a fowl who looks like a baby.
And then...
And you think this is you don't see any problems with this so far? You've not identified any concerns yet?
If it means you get younger people into other jobs other than singing...
I agree with you. I think it's crazy that everyone now just wants to be famous, a singer or something, and we don't need them. They're just contriving it. All they're doing is knocking the last one off the top number one spot. It's just a factory.
But I'm not talking about everyone should try and be a singer, am I? What I'm saying is sometimes you're allowed to pursue your dreams. And they might be, you may fulfil those dreams. There's nothing wrong with that. It may be that you want to operate on a woman called Hilda or a bunion. Pursue that dream. But according to your negative views, we shouldn't even try and do that either.
What I'm saying is...
Go on. What's he saying?
Leona was an example. I'm not saying everyone should try and be like Leona.
No, but listen to his point, Stephen, because he's got a very good point coming up.
Here it comes. This is it.
Okay. He hasn't said a normal word yet, but he's going to say some now, and they're all going to be profound.
People's dreams aren't their own dreams.
Oh, hold on. What do you mean by that?
Okay, keep going. No. He'll explain. You don't need to ask any questions. He'll explain.
Because they think they know what they want because they see it on the telly. They see, someone singing a song and they go, I want to do that. Yeah. So all I'm saying is, change the dreams. Change the dreams.
Yeah.
Surgery. They're watching that. They're seeing Hilda happy with a better foot. The doctor's getting all the praise. They go, I want a bit of that action. That's what it's about. They don't want to be singers. They want to be known. They want to be famous.
Yeah.
So, fine, have a bit of fame, but do some good. Fix Hilda's foot.
Sorry, was that the end of the point?
Yeah, because all we've done, we've changed the dreams. Dreams are...
Well, you've hit on a good point there, because what is astounding is that when people are inundated with praise for people who are just clothes horses. They are just skinny nobodies who don't do anything except have their picture taken, and they're role models for, I'm not talking about, anyone in particular, but it's just these people who, want to be seen with other celebrities and marry celebrities and be a celebrity. People think that's an easy life because they're getting rewarded for it. And yet, someone who's stuck in a laboratory trying to come up with a cure for AIDS, they don't know or care about them. And
okay, can I just point out though that if we're going to have a go at people being successful, making money, and being well known for doing nothing of any value, I point you to the man sat opposite me here.
And that's, I tell you, there's times when I, lie awake at night, thinking, what was my dreams?
Yeah, but
I'd love to be a little
I've
doctor.
got a new boiler.
Yeah. Hold on.
And 2 houses.
I'd love to be a little doctor.
Yeah, I mean, it's past me now, there's no way I can go back.
Well.
But it would have been brilliant.
You're wrong. Karl Pilkington!
Hilda?
What is it? What now, Hilda, what's up with you? I've got terrible piles. There's some sort of blockage up there. I haven't gone to the, haven't gone to the toilet for a week. Well, Karl, can you unblock Hilda's arse? Now live, unblocking Hilda's arse, Karl Pilkington.
I thought she had bad feet.
No, her feet, no. Jedward fixed her feet. There's a lovely job, that's why they stayed in last week. Her arse is worse than her feet. It's because she's been off her feet for so long, because she couldn't walk. Her arse took the brunt of it, and it's just terrible. Piles have burst, and it's blocked up there where all she just eats is cheese because she's so depressed.
I'd probably knock it on the head there.
Why?
I'd just say, like going back to the street thing, I've gone down the wrong avenue.
Right.
I go, this isn't for me, I didn't know I'd be, eye to eye with this.
What's that?
It's not for me, and that's how you find out that it's not for you, by doing it.
Right.
But at least I gave it a go.
So this the same as you had one fight with Leroy, you went along to a dance studio that was shut, you've seen Hilda's arse, and it's turned you off proctology.
Once again, you've just abandoned it.
Yeah, well, there's no point.
Have a go! Just feel inside Hilda's back passage, feel the blockage. Right.
No, because the audience have already decided. They've seen a weakness in me, they're going to vote me out.
No,
there's no point me getting dirty fingers for this.
Well, that's about it for the Ricky Gervais Guide to the Future. The next audiobook in this series is the Ricky Gervais Guide to the Human Body. Look forward to that.
Will do.
It's goodbye from me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Goodbye.
And the little round-headed shaven chimp that is forever Karl Pilkington.
All right.
To some, society is a cage, trapping and oppressing free-thinking individuals. But to others, society offers essential structure and regulation, preventing anarchy and the worst excesses of human behaviour. Each society has its own codes of conduct, ways of doing things. But who decides these social norms, and how are they governed? From the formative democracy of ancient Greece to the communist totalitarianism of Soviet Russia, history has shown us that there are as many forms of society as there are people to populate them. To discuss society and our place within it, I'm joined by Stephen Merchant, award-winning writer and graduate of the University of Warwick.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington. You know the score, little round-headed twat.
Right.
In ancient Greece, every year 500 people would be selected from that Grecian society, and they would have to sit there that year, and they would propose laws, and everyone else would vote on them. And that was their obligation. They were obliged to be one of that 500, if they'd be like jury duty, called up, and then they had to propose their ideas, and then the rest of the citizens voted on it. Now, if you're in that position, alright, you're called up, what rules and laws are you instigating?
You might go, right, I want an egalitarian society. I want freedom for people. I don't want slavery. I don't want any sort of oppression. Would that be high on your list?
Well, you could say, when I worked at Cordon Bleu, there was times when I thought, being treated like a slave here.
You weren't though, because you were being paid and you were free. So.
What do you mean? I wasn't free. I was on from 9 till 6.
You had the choice to leave the job. Slaves didn't have the choice to leave. They wouldn't go. They go. Well,
I didn't have any choice.
Actually, Mr. Jackson, I'm thinking of leaving your employment.
No,
the money's no good, and I don't like the dwellings.
No.
They didn't have that choice.
I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, you did.
The only other choice was Tesco, and they'd already turned me down.
No, that's not. That wasn't
no choice.
That wasn't the lack of choice given to most slaves.
But the slaves who built the pyramids, that wasn't an option for them. It wasn't like they could go and, well, I could get a better gig on the Sphinx.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, you're not saying anything. You're saying absolute drivel again.
Here's a little Greek proverb for you. A society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in.
What do you think of that? That's amazing.
Can you say it again?
Say it again.
A society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in. Do you understand?
Yeah, just saying, they're planting a seed, they grow a tree, but trees take ages.
Yeah.
takes a long time.
Yeah.
That old fella's not going to get any joy out of that.
Right.
But if he's lucky,
yeah,
fella next door might have done the same years ago. So it's all about sort of planting a seed, looking after each other.
That's great, actually. It's not. I don't think it's directly what it means.
It's almost the point.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I think he means that future generations. But yeah, if the next door neighbour had done that, then yeah, that works as well.
But you seem to agree that that's a good point. Do you agree that seems a good point to you?
But I'm sort of guessing he enjoyed gardening anyway. Part of the enjoyment was in planting that seed.
It's the old metaphor problem again, isn't it?
I know, yeah.
It's not specifically about trees. You know, you plant the tree, as you say, and you may never see the beauty of or the benefit of that tree, but other people will.
But as a metaphor, what he enjoyed is the fact that he's added to society and human life, and he's got a legacy and all that.
But by the same time, when I went to Ibiza, right, now there they have motorbikes, people flying round on them, people don't wear helmets. You might even get 3 people on a moped. I saw a farmer with a goat in a basket. They don't care. They're whizzing around at high speeds. A lot of deaths there.
Yeah.
And they'll have a lot of them those areas where someone's come off, been killed, people put flowers there.
Yeah.
And because that happens a lot, it's a lovely green island. Now here, we're saying wear an helmet.
You're saying that all the deaths make it nice because there's
flowers. It makes it lovely.
Because there's loads of flowers everywhere.
So with death comes beauty. So that's another metaphor, you can have that one.
That was one of the most tortuous things I've ever... That was extraordinary.
But look at London.
That was extraordinary, Karl.
Right, Karl.
Well, look at London, though. Let me finish my point.
Let him finish his point. I'm intrigued.
Right, London, councillor with his clipboard, need a speed bump here, I saw someone doing 35. Put some traffic lights there and a pedestrian crossing. Pelican crossing there as well. And a speed camera.
Right.
Horrible and grey. Okay. No flowers.
But you still see flowers left behind where people have died in terrible accidents.
They're not very good ones. They're stuck to a lamppost with elastic band round them. They don't look nice.
He's knows the quality of flowers. Yeah, but the point is
some 15-year-old got run down and you're disappointed at the quality of the flowers.
Look at this, Suzanne. Fella lost his head here. Geraniums? Fella lost bloody head.
Well, that's so
we have to encourage gun crime so that people get shot in inner cities and then we can put flowers up and beautify the area. Is that what you're saying?
If an area's nicer to look in, nicer to be in, if it's nicer looking, you don't get people speeding around like lunatics. Because they go, I'm not in a rush, I'd quite like to slow down there and look at the flowers. This is so complicated.
So now what you're saying is because an area is grey and gloomy, people speed around to get out of it. In the course of doing that, they knock people down, but then flowers are put up, which then makes the area beautiful, thus stopping people driving around at speed so death no longer occurs.
Well, they're cute to getting out of their cars to put down flowers. And
they get knocked down. Yeah. By other people on their way to put some flowers down.
Yeah.
Just sometimes people have to die, don't they? There was a fella outside our house who hit a lamppost. He had a helmet on, but his head come off.
You made me laugh at a man's head coming up because the way you said it.
But that's the thing.
he had a, oh God, there's a man, there's a guy in a house. He had a lamppost, he had a helmet on, but his head come off.
So you're saying that because in that one instance, the helmet did not save his life.
His head was in great condition. It's just not attached to his body. And that's what I'm saying to you. Sometimes people have to die. How far do you take all this stuff of you know, safety gear and slowing down and wear bright clothes at night, and it's just too much.
Very important point, you see. We give people crash helmets, we give them, you know, seat belts, we make them wear that, right? Do you think that's right for a start? Do you think someone should be made to wear a crash helmet? They're only hurting themselves.
Crash helmet. I don't think you should get fined for not wearing one. But then if you come off a motorbike and you hurt your head and you didn't have a helmet on, then you can't sort of go, well, they should have had speed bumps there. I didn't realise we were going too fast.
Don't forget, we're not just protecting him. He could be a father with 2 kids. So you're going, oh, let him, if he doesn't want to wear a crash helmet, let him get brain damage. Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying, we're over the top in this country.
No, but
you're saying,
if you're saying no, if he doesn't want to wear a crash helmet, let him not wear a crash helmet. He doesn't wear a crash helmet, he comes off his bike, he smacks his head in, he's a vegetable. He's like that, sitting at home like that. And yet the 2 little kids come to you, you're in charge, don't forget, we put you in charge of society here, and they come to you, 2 little kids, they go, President Pilkington,
what?
Why did you let my daddy wear the... not wear the crash helmet?
I didn't. We put leaflets through the door. We had adverts on the telly, Sunshine.
Yeah, but why?
It's your dad's fault.
But why wasn't it compulsory? Because he wanted...
It's not the world we live in, Sonny.
Yeah, now I haven't got a daddy.
Has he got an helmet at all? Have you seen an helmet knocking about?
No, he's a vegetable now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't want to wear a crash helmet, but why didn't you make him wear a crash helmet? It wasn't just him, it was us. Why did you turn my daddy into a vegetable?
Where's your mum?
Mum left when he kept going on about not wearing a crash helmet.
I'll put you in a home. I just think, you see, this is the problem. Everyone's looking for someone to blame.
Yes, but this is interesting though, because you were particularly callous to that little 4-year-old boy who seemed so sweet and adorable.
Yeah.
But why wasn't he giving this stick to his dad?
Well, his dad's dead, he's a vegetable.
He's dead,
He's good as dead to him.
His dad went within the law. It was not the law to wear a crash helmet anymore, because you said, forget it, I don't want a nanny state. If you wear a crash helmet or not. He wasn't a responsible parent. He hadn't thought it through. But this is your job. Some people aren't responsible. Society keeps them on track. This was you were in charge. You should have made him wear a crash helmet. He had 2 kids.
We've heard from one of the kids. What's the other one's attitude? Is he younger?
He's a bit younger.
Is he even younger still?
Yeah.
President Pilkington.
Oh.
My brother's crying now because you shouted at him. I wish you'd have made my daddy wear a crash helmet.
Why didn't you make your daddy wear a crash helmet?
Well, he won't listen to me because I'm not in charge.
He didn't listen to me.
Yeah,
He seems like a bit of a numbnut, to be honest.
No, he did listen to you.
What did he do
because
for a
you made a
living?
new rule saying people don't have to wear crash helmets.
Right.
And he listened to you.
Did he pop shoes on in the morning when he went out? Or did he need to be here to tell him to do that as well?
No, there's certain things.
So he has got some common sense then.
Well, there's enough, yeah.
Oh, right, interesting.
Yeah.
So he can be bothered with his trainers, but he can be bothered with helmet.
I haven't got a daddy.
Jesus.
Wow, you are cruel to this kid.
It's just, all I'm saying is, there should be a leaflet.
I don't even know how he got in number 10, this little kid.
The thing is...
But he's got in, you should have at least a courtesy to listen to his point.
Forget all, I'm sick and tired of having adverts on the telly. Don't smoke, wear an helmet, slow down, watch your kidneys, look after your liver.
I haven't seen that one.
Now, I don't know why. Why can't they just put a leaflet through saying, hello everyone, use your common sense?
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking. That's what I take
because some people don't have common sense.
Everyone's got common
sense. People are fucking idiots.
Yeah,
it's not my fault
That's
then.
why that's why there is a
fault.
government. If we let people, they'd be fucking idiots. They'd be eating turkey Twizzlers and fucking watching Big Brother and X Factor all day. And they're letting their kids run riot in the street.
But they are doing. Some families do just eat turkey Twizzlers.
Yeah.
There is little knobheads on bikes playing out till God knows what
Exactly.
hour. So it's happening anyway.
But that's no argument, is it? It's happening anyway. That's no argument, Karl. It's what we've talked about here. Social responsibility. The reason people get into politics is because they feel it's their obligation to change those things. This is your approach. I wash my hands of the whole affair.
Yeah, I'd hope that the people who don't wear an helmet sort of do themselves in, and that's cleared them off. That's one problem sorted.
So you think you're being Darwinian? You're thinking survival of the fittest. The idiots will soon, but they don't, because they're not just the victims. The dead person isn't the victim. It's a very good example is, okay, we've talked about it before, people who smoke know that it's dangerous. We know now that smoking gives you cancer. But why is that still legal? And yet people know that and they still smoke. Fat people know that they're going to get out of breath and clammy. And yet they still eat more. They get depressed, they're eating more. They know that they're going to be constipated for a year and a half, but they're still shoving in chocolate cake instead of carrots.
But because that's what I'm saying.
Why don't we stop them? Why don't we stop fat people eating? If you've got a smackhead and you really love him, you intervene, you grab him, you put in a cupboard, you go, you're not coming out. He goes mad for about a year, then he thanks you for it.
Yeah.
So lock fat people in a cupboard. And just put carrots under the door. What?
The thing is, there's got to be some responsibility.
Karl, grab Ricky, there's a cupboard over there.
You've got to take some responsibility, haven't you? Now, if it's your own fat kid, stick him in your cupboard. But what I'm saying is, as a counsellor, I'm not spending taxpayers' money on cupboards to put the fat kid in.
So, back at the Chosen 500 in ancient Greece, right, you're one of them. What other things?
I like that saying, the one about, do to others as you'd like to be treated yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Pop that on a leaflet, pop it through the door.
But you seem to be doing a lot of leafleting. That seems to be your entire governance seems to be guided by popping leaflets through doors. And I get a lot of leaflets, so I'm presuming the rest of the country does, and it's not always working. So maybe sometimes you've got to instigate something a little bit more strong-minded than fucking leaflets, my friend. Maybe you've got to make a couple of laws. You've got to stand
every
up.
individual can go, how would I want to be treated? Well, I'd want someone to throw cake at me.
Yeah.
Because I'm a greedy bastard.
I would want someone to steal my telly.
I'd probably start on the way you look.
Right, go on.
I'd just say, right, you know, make an effort, tidy up your house, and I'd have some sort of.
I'm poor.
Doesn't matter. You can still tidy up.
Can we get better houses then? Because.
Well, look after the one that we've let you.
Yeah,
get rid of that old mattress that's in your garden there. Clean the windows, and then we might give you a nicer one. At the moment, you don't deserve anything nicer. And that's what I'm saying. You've got to be honest with these people. Wake them up.
I like that.
Sure, you've got to be honest with them. You've got to wake them up through heavy leafleting campaigns.
Yeah.
But do you see the problem with some of what you're saying, Karl, is that it's very hard to enforce that in law because it seems unjust and unfair. You can't really start legislating against people's looks or whether they want. I mean. You have to keep your house tidy. I mean, who decides how tidy it has to be? It's the tidy police? I mean, that's a strange...
Well, hold on, though. I like wearing sort of these denims. It expresses who I am, and I like wearing a beard, because I just think it's natural. I don't really like shaving, and, I like this sort of smell. I like this smell of BO. That's who I am as a person, so how can you impose that on me just to be part of society? Who are you to infringe my rights as an individual?
What do you want out of life?
Well, no, I think I just like to say I don't want to conform. I don't want to just shave and wear a suit and I keep myself to myself, and I like to just grow a beard and eat porridge with my hands. I'm not hurting anyone, so I don't know why I have to conform to that society.
Well, there's nothing I can do for you. You're wasting my time, really.
Although I do feel ill, I need to go to hospital now. So I'm gonna go to hospital now if that's all right. Is there care for me?
Well, what's up with you?
I've got diseases from eating with my hands, and there's things growing in my beard.
Right.
So will you clean that up for me now?
No, because it's all been brought on yourself.
Well, no, but that's irrelevant. A lot of people bring things on themselves, but you can't just ignore them because it's just part of it's a bad society.
So how do they learn then?
I don't know why I'm being punished for being stupid.
How do they learn then?
Well,
I don't understand why I've got to worry about you.
I've got
proper ill people.
Well,
you had a kid whinging at me this morning because his dad was a Hmong.
Obviously in China, you can only have one child, can't you? Is that something you feel we should bring in here?
Yeah, I think we've got to, I don't know about one kid. I just sort of concentrate on who can have a kid.
Okay.
As opposed to, if someone's got a load of money and they're good at looking after kids, let Madonna have as many as she wants. But if it's someone who's...
So social engineering you want to do?
Yeah, but hold on though.
Well, what use are they then? If you're bringing them into a poor family, what's the point? What good is that for anyone? It's not good for the people who've had the kids.
So who's deciding who's allowed to have how many kids? Are you deciding?
I was brought into the poor family, wasn't I?
What?
I was brought into a poor family.
Yeah, no, I'm talking really poor.
So, third world?
No.
What, poorer than that? Poorer than no money at all?
No, somewhere in the middle again. You've gone too far the other way.
Okay,
why has it always got to go the other way?
Cornwall.
I just mean like the people who I've told you about on the estate sometimes, who had that one who chased cars and stuff. He wasn't happy. They didn't care if he was there or not. What's the point?
Right, so hang on, so let's imagine that Ricky and I are husband and wife, we've come in, right? What's your questions to us to establish whether we are allowed to have a couple of kids?
Hello. Thanks for coming.
Me and my husband, we can't have children.
Why not?
Because he's got no sperm at all.
Okay.
He had one sperm and it was ridiculous, it was awful. It just came out like a dead anchovy.
Right,
you're meant to have 300 million, the tiny ones, and he had one big one, it was horrible, I had to pull it out, it was like a leech. And also, I haven't got a vagina, so there's no place
completely smooth down there, like an action man.
Yeah, it was just that, I don't know, but we love children, and we wondered if we could have a child.
What do you do for a living? What do you do? What's your work?
I'm a rapist.
Right.
And I dispose of the bodies.
Right. Well, fill out this form.
I should have clarified, a rapist murderer.
Fill out the form.
He does it in the wrong order as well, I must say. So, no, number of times I've disposed of the body, said I hadn't made that one.
I know. Just wondered what else you need to know about us. Because even though
that was our little joke, by the way. He doesn't rape, and I don't
I work in an office.
He works in an office in the town.
But
I'm a housewife.
She's a housewife.
I'm making a little nest for when we adopt a little child.
We don't earn a great deal of money, but we're good parents.
We're very good parents.
What's that based on?
Well, we're good people, you know. I mean, aside from a few naughty jokes,
we're God-fearing people. We believe that God is watching all of us, and we believe in the Old Testament.
And sometimes He tells us to kill and rape.
Yeah, sometimes He does. Yeah, particularly. We've stoned a couple of homosexuals this week alone.
We're joking again.
We're joking again. We don't believe in God. We're from an atheist and believe that our time on earth is all we have, and then when we die we become worms meat.
Right. Well, you filled out.
But we've already painted the back bedroom. That's ready for the little child.
We painted it black. Because we want our child to be a Satanist. Joking again.
Joking again.
We want him to be an accountant.
Yeah.
Gay accountant.
Some would say the same thing, only joking, of course.
I think there's too much in society where people are pressured to be heterosexual, so we're going to try and make ours a homosexual. So we don't care whether you get a homosexual or a heterosexual, but I tell you, by the time he's 14, he will be as queer as the Ace of Spades.
Right, so you filled out the form.
Filled out the form.
Yeah, we'll put that in, get it processed.
Right. Okay, but what kind of questions are you going to ask us?
None really.
No.
Just my job.
You're happy. You're happy
my job
with us.
to pass the forms on.
We've passed the interview.
Because that's the sort of world we live in now.
God. We don't want a child. We don't want a child, actually.
But do you know where we could buy a knife and a sack?
We talked about the little fella planting a tree that he will never sit under. He's given that to the next generation. Okay? Now, big discussion about donor cards. Of course, there's no reason not to give your kidneys away after your death, to all your organs. They're no good to you, and you'll be helping life. It's perverse to me that you wouldn't want to donate your body to a worthy cause after your death. Medical research, whatever. Do you agree with that, don't you?
Well, you know how I feel about it a little bit. I don't like the idea of certain bits.
Why not? What does it matter?
Just because there's certain bits that are really personal to you, aren't they?
No, there's not. What bit is more personal than another bit to you?
Well, like I've said, my eyes. They're my eyes. They see stuff I like.
Yeah,
now what happens if someone else has them and they start looking at stuff I don't like? I don't like the idea of that.
But that's ridiculous, because your eyes they're just bits of tissue. They haven't got your
but we don't know, because they found out there's something called cellular something or other that I've told you about the person who had some sort of operation and ended up like in Yellow Biscuits. I've told you about it.
Yeah, but that's bollocks.
It's the same
you
thing
told
with
us
the
about
eyes.
it, but I dismissed it as bollocks immediately. Not just because you said it, because it was intrinsically bollocks.
No. But it could work the other way anyway, where the person who has my eyes starts, like, looking at ants and insects and stuff. I might carry on.
Bollocks. Again, this is all bollocks. Got none of your memories, none of your thoughts, none of your reasoning, nothing of you, none of your personality. They're just a collection of cells that now have light going through them and making this new person see. They're a lens. They're a lens. That's all they are. So there's no reason why, you know, this was the crazy thing, isn't it, when people started saying that they wanted their organs to go to a particular race of person, and obviously that's illegal. Also, it shouldn't be the choice, really. I think you should have that opting out, that you have to say that you don't want your organs given after, and if you die, then they assume that those organs are up for grabs, because there's a shortage. So what do you think of that?
Like I say, they can have certain bits. They're not having the eyes. I think that's fair.
What, can they have the cock and balls?
I'd prefer it if they didn't.
You're saying no one's going to have my eyes or my cock and bollocks.
What if the tables were turned?
Yeah.
What if someone said, Karl, you've lost your cock and bollocks in a terrible accident. It's alright, we put some flowers at the scene of it. It's brightened the area up. But, we've found a donor who's happy to give you his cock and bollocks.
He's dead, but his cock and bollocks we kept alive.
Would you accept them?
They're absolutely lovely match.
Better than yours.
Yeah.
Bigger, younger.
Yeah, go on then, I'll have them.
You'd have
So
them?
you would, you'd have someone else's cock and bollocks, but then you wouldn't donate yours to someone else.
What about this? What if you discovered later, right, that the person who donated the cock and bollocks, right, was a sex pervert? was a homosexual sex pervert?
I don't think, though, that I'd bother looking into the history of these cock and bollocks. It's not like, you know...
You'd accept them willy-nilly, but what if you just found out by chance?
That was his name, willy-nilly. That was his stage name. And
What if you found out by chance?
How do I find out by chance? What's the scenario
They
there?
say, well, the doctor goes, I should tell you, I know you believe in a load of shit about yellow biscuits and bollocks like that, so I'll just tell you in case anything goes weird, this was a sex pervert's cock and bollocks, so if you find that you're sticking these through letterboxes, don't worry, it's not your fault. It's where they wanted to have gone. That's
Would it concern you if you accepted the cock and bollocks that had a past like that?
Yeah, because the problem is, it wouldn't be that bad if I had his eyes.
Right.
Why?
Because then I'm seeing what he wants to see, and
that doesn't make any sense at all.
But unfortunately,
it makes no sense at all.
The match is wrong. The eyes don't go with the cock and bollocks anymore.
I don't know.
So something's going to lose out here. Either the cock and bollocks, they're not going to get what they want anymore, or the eyes are going to be upset.
So are you scared of the idea, to go back to your yellow biscuit analogy, that the cock and bollocks you inherit, that whatever the previous owner did with them...
lives on.
Bollocks.
That scares you, does it?
Okay, there's one final scenario here, Karl. Okay. You haven't opted out, so your organs go to where they like. Now, unbeknownst to you, there's a big waiting list. There's a thing. They've got all your details, and you said, yeah, whatever. I don't want to know. You wouldn't want to know, would you, after you die, where it goes? You say, I don't, because you've said you don't want to know. If you don't know, you have a lovely life. When you die, they can go anywhere. They can do what they will. Okay. Now, unbeknownst to you, they have got it down. They've donated your arse, right, for use to a gay rapist with AIDS. Okay. So they are saving a life there. So when you die, they go, right, it's still warm, get that gay rapist with AIDS round here, because that's going to stop him raping someone, give him AIDS. He comes round, he's straight up there. He's shagging you, right? You're basically saving a life, right? By letting him do that, right?
Sorry, I'm confused here.
What?
Why is the gay rapist with AIDS got the arse?
He's still connected to Karl. They've donated the arse, so when Karl dies, the doctors go, right, we're going to stop a terrible thing here.
So the gay rapist can shag the arse?
Yeah, he shags Karl, gets out of his system and goes, phew, that stopped me.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Right, so
it's just Karl's disembodied arse on the...
No, it's the whole Karl.
Karl's dead?
So Karl gets struck, he's having a heart attack, they go, free, clear, they go, no, we've lost him. At 10:01, they go, oh, he's a arse donor. And they go, okay, where's the nearest gay rapist with AIDS live? Next door, get him round here. They go, okay, the gay rapist comes round and goes, where is he? Right? He goes, there he is, right? So Karl is face down. Now they turn him over, they go, there's the arse, you've got 10 minutes, then we got to bury him.
I'm surprised you didn't know this guy was living next door.
Right. So, the gay rapist gets on top, he goes, right, this is lovely, right? He's loving it, he's shagging you. Right, now, this is the weird thing. The doctors next door, they go, okay, the gay rapist will be finished soon, and then we have to bury him, but we should inform his next of kin. They go, oh, it's Suzanne. They go, your husband's, dead, he's avatar. She goes, oh my god, come round and just identify the body. I'd leave it a couple of minutes, but, then come round, she goes, oh god, I'll be right there. So Suzanne's on her way. The gay rapist, right? He's pummeling you away, right? But you will not believe this.
Oh my god.
The movement and the way he's shagging you, right, has started your heart. Right.
This is a stroke of amazing good fortune.
Right? So you go, he goes, right? He, right, has a heart attack. Right? And he flops down on you. He just like headbutts the back of your head. So now, you're both naked, this gay rapist is up your arse, he's dead, right? The shock, so you go, fuck me, how can I get out of this, right? You wriggle, you fall onto the floor. So now, he's on the bottom, face up, you're on top of him, he's still in you. His cock is up your arse, you're sat on him, wriggling, Suzanne walks in, goes, Karl, what the fuck are you doing?
She's heard about me being dead, and because she's come to the hospital.
She goes, and they go, he's in there, and she goes, he's not dead, I can see him. They go, oh, because it's terrible. She bursts in, there you are, on top of him, wriggling to try and get his knob out your arse, right? You're sitting on a man who's dead. What do you say?
I'd just say we got to join Booper.
Very hard, isn't it, to imagine yourself a different period in time and how you would have reacted. Now, if you think about America in the 1950s, black people still very much second-class citizens. You've obviously heard of the famous Rosa Parks incident, in which she was obliged to move on the bus from where she was sat to somewhere else, and she chose not to, and she was arrested for it. Became very much a sort of figurehead of the civil rights movement. Had you been travelling on that bus,
what would you do?
And am I far from where I'm getting off?
Yeah. So once again, you can't just nip out at the next stop so you can wash your hands of the whole affair. No, you're on that bus. You've still got a number of stops. You live further away than Rosa does because you've got a lovely big house, whereas obviously she doesn't have a lovely place. She can't afford it. So you've got to stay on that bus. You've seen this now. You've seen this bus driver demanding that she gets up, gives up that seat. Maybe she's given up that seat for you. Maybe you've got on that bus as a privileged white man and she refuses to get up on your behalf.
I'd probably go, it's alright, I'm standing, I'm alright.
But why would you say that? Because you're thinking of the modern day Karl, you're not thinking of the man from the 1950s.
Well, the thing is, we don't have to go back in time. We can go to a country now where you'd see an injustice, where you were outnumbered by the law of the land. What if Suzanne wasn't allowed to sit with you on buses? What if now a law came in that women were second-class citizens and she can't come with you? Wouldn't you go, no, fuck that, she's sitting with me?
I'd say we're only going around the block. We've been to the shopping centre. Be home in 15 minutes. Can you take that bag with you? Because there's no one sat next to you down here. I'm a bit crammed in up here. There's more blokes on the bus. I'll see you in a minute. It's not a big issue. I've done it on the train, where I've booked tickets and they've ended up being different tickets. And I've gone, I'll see you in an hour and a half. I've got an iPod.
But
so you went first class and that's
luck. That's luck. That's circumstance. One is policy. Surely you can see the difference between a principle and a bit of luck.
But it's what you get used to at the end of the day. I mean, I'm not walking past them and slapping them on the back of the head. I'm getting on, and it's just that's where they sit, that's where we sit. Like men and women going into a separate toilet.
Karl, let's put this I mean, obviously, this is too much for your head to... You're on a bus, right, and there's a few white people, and they're...
I'm the driver.
And they're being racist to a black kid.
Right, I'd go, if I'm driving, I'd go, listen, lads, stop that, will you?
If you're going to be racist, can you get off at the next stop and do it there?
Well, you know, we've all had a tough day. It's the end of the day. We just all want to go home. We've all been working. Right. He's not in your way. He's sat in his own seat. Sit back. Calm down. Had enough.
But what if they said, no, we usually sit there. We want that seat. Would you think the black kid's a troublemaker? Or would you go, come on, just move, mate. It'd be peaceful.
I'd go, what do you want to do? Do you want to move so this is calm down? Or
No, you shouldn't say that. He doesn't matter if he wants to move or not. It's his right not to move.
Do what you want, then. If you want to stay there and fight your own corner.
No. He wants to stay there. Don't you surely you want to be on the side of right.
I'm just doing my job here. I'm sat driving a bus. I'm driving a bus for 30 quid a week here. I'm getting a load of grief off some people at the end of the day.
But think bigger than the bus rule. It's not just a bus thing, alright? Just imagine that you're not a bus driver. Alright,
no, but that's what we're talking about here.
But yes, but Ricky's trying to make a point. It's an analogy again. It's about you taking some kind of responsibility that could put you in harm's way. Yeah. That could mean that you've got to stand up to danger or to bullies or to aggression.
If someone's attacking Suzanne, she goes, Karl, help. You go, no, I could get her here.
Because I know the full story here. But this is what I'm saying about Rosie What's-it. I'm just saying, she sat on the bus. How did it work? She got on the bus, she sat where she wanted.
No, I'll tell you how it worked. The middle section of the bus, black people could sit there, but it was up to the driver's discretion to change where black people could sit, depending on the number of white passengers that got on. So she sat in a seat, some more and more white passengers get on, so this bloke decides, well, no, actually, this is no longer the black section, there is no black section, because there's enough white people, you've got to stand up. And she decided, no, I'm not going to get up. It's my right to be able to sit on this bus, as a person, as a human being, not whether or black or white. And that was why she got arrested.
Well, she lost in the end, didn't she?
What do you mean she lost in the end? There's a black president.
Yeah, but it's not because of her getting on a bus. That's just because times changed.
Yes, in a way it is.
I don't know.
Because she became a spearhead of the civil rights movement that was spearheaded by Martin Luther King.
But all those little things go towards change.
On a different bus, on a different day, it might not have turned out that way. That's what I'm saying. It might have been, you know, someone else who goes, get off, who's been in a right mood, might have been in the pub all afternoon. And she's there going, I'm not moving, and he's fed up, he's up to here with it.
Sorry, so she's pissed up now.
She's pissed up now.
No, the person sat next to her.
Yeah.
Might have even been a black bloke. He's been working hard, and he's like, I don't want this.
But it's interesting you say that.
The bus pulls over, the police are called in.
But you say it's interesting you say that because in the Rosa Parks incident, there were a number of other black men, all of whom did stand up. I think 5 of them were there, and 4 of them stood up, and she stayed sat down. So there was 4 people there who did choose the easier route, the easier life, and she stayed sat down, and she's the one who went to prison, and she's the one who's remembered because of what she did on that day.
It's difficult, isn't it? If I was on there, I'd weigh her up. You know, is this woman doing this as like a good cause? Or is she just a trouble causer? Because she just seemed like, you know, I'll do what I want. Now that's fine. You'll always get people who do what they want, and they do change the little rules along the way. But I bet when she was doing it, it wasn't like a big stand up, this is the day I'm going to do it. It's just happened to, she was fed up that day, she didn't want to get up. Lazy. She might just go around law breaking all the time, and she's remembered now because she'd made a change about bus seats. Well, when she got up that morning, did she say I'm going to do that, or has she been fly tipping before she got on the bus? This is what I'm saying. Is she just a you know?
No, she's not a troublemaker. She's someone who already had a burgeoning interest in the civil rights. I mean, I really thought the Rosa Parks incident was pretty cut and dry. The fact that Karl's managed to find an ambiguity in it is extraordinary.
I love it.
Tell me something else about Rosie Parks.
Oh, for God's sake. I don't know what she's got to do to win you round, Karl. Honestly, I didn't realise it would be this difficult.
Karl, Thomas Jefferson, you know who he is, once observed, a nation as a society forms a moral person, and every member of it is personally responsible for his society. But Jefferson's fellow countryman, as you know, the American writer and intellectual Randolph Bourne, noted some years later, society is one vast conspiracy for carving one into a kind of statue it likes, and then placing it in the most convenient niche it has. So one saying, no, this is why we're moral people. The society is great for us. It turns us into responsible people, okay? And we should love that society and make sure it's perpetuated. But Bourne said, no, it's just a way to mould someone into what it likes and put it into a little box so it can't hurt anyone.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's not, again, it's...
No, both of them are right.
Both of them are right, but they're contradictory.
They're both opinions.
They're certainly opinions.
But I mean, I don't know why I am the way I am. It just happens, doesn't it? You know, I don't like killing a fly. No one would stop me if I did. But there's something in me that goes, don't do that.
Right, so this is a very important theory, because you're basically saying, well, you could be saying one of two things. You could be saying that goodness is innate.
Not likely.
No. Or he could be saying that there's a morality that transcends rules and society pressure. Whether or something's legal or not doesn't mean that you have to do it because it's legal, and it doesn't mean you don't... Yeah? Is that the one you meant?
That's what I meant. There was a bit of trouble in our yard the other day.
Right.
Between a wasp and a cricket.
No, the thing is there any point to this at all, or are you just going to tell us you saw...
Are you going to extrapolate some analogy from this?
I think so.
Okay,
yeah,
well, let's see. So there's a wasp...
Yeah, well, so look at the whole scenario.
As you said, sorry, just to clarify, as you said, it was kicking off.
Right, okay.
Scenario.
So you're looking out your window.
No, I'm in the kitchen by the sink.
Yeah.
Washing up, we've got a new sink, We've got a dishwasher as well, but I said, well, I use a sink, we've paid for it, let's give it a go.
So you're like a Luddite threatened by the technology. You're thinking your worth will be taken away, your reason in the world will be taken away by the dishwasher. So you're no, Suzanne, we've got a dishwasher, but I am going to carry on. You're going to need me. I want to show I'm needed.
I wanted to use it. It's like, I don't understand it if someone's got a really nice car, but they have a chauffeur. Drive it. It's yours. Enjoy it. Enjoy your car.
Well,
feel a gear change. Yeah, but you don't drive.
No, I know.
Yeah, so that's alright. But what I'm saying is, I've got a sink, I've got a dishwasher. What am I doing? If I put the dishwasher on, what am I going to do? I'm just going to sit down and do nothing. Probably. Wash up then. Do something useful. I do a better job than the machine does.
Well, get rid of the machine altogether then?
No, because sometimes I might want to go for a walk or something.
Well, why don't you go for a walk all the time? It's good for you.
I'd had a walk in the morning. Anyway, so, I'm washing up.
That was all the prelude to the wasp and the cricket story. It better be fucking good to top that.
His life's so complicated. For a man who does nothing at all, right, his life is so complicated.
No, because it's the same thing. The kitchen's fairly new.
Alright, so you're washing up for Christ's sake.
You're using a new sink, the dishwasher's there, it's not doing anything, it's not even plugged in, it's pointless. What's going on?
I'm washing up the few plates.
Right.
The kitchen door's open.
Right.
Suzanne says, oh my god, look at that.
What?
There's a wasp and a cricket having a wrestle. I've never seen it before.
Right. Wait! Are you sure this wasn't Mexican television and it actually was a sporting event?
Dressed up.
Yeah.
So they're there, wrestling. And I was like, well, stop them then. So
Whoa! You don't interfere with fucking Rosa Parks. Why are you interfering with a wasp and a cricket?
Because one, I didn't even know they didn't get on, to be honest.
So this is much bigger metaphor than black and white.
Because listen,
this is more important than apartheid and segregation, Tim.
I didn't even know they didn't get on, to be honest. Because they were sort of wrestling. I said, and my hands were wet, so I couldn't do anything. I always overdo it with the fairy liquid.
Yeah, sure.
So she's there. I say, separate them.
Poor Suzanne.
Now, so she uses a tea towel, flicks them.
Clever. Good thinking.
The wasp goes its own way. The cricket's sort of jumping about a bit.
But who was fighting who?
So I'm sort of saying that is really weird, because wasps are changing quicker than anything else that I keep my eye on.
Okay, well that's just your theory and it's not based on anything.
Well, I told you a couple of years back I saw one eating chicken. They shouldn't be doing it. So anyway, so now they're causing trouble with a cricket.
Whoa, how do you know it was the wasp's fault? This is prejudice. Why do you think it was the wasp's fault? What if the cricket would have started it? What if the cricket's got a society that go, we hate wasps, we hate their stripes. We hate them. If they come here, fight them. If everyone comes down here, fight them. How do you know it wasn't the cricket that started that?
Well, I suppose at that time I didn't, but since...
Oh, subsequent information.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, so anyway...
It's like Columbo, isn't it?
Yeah. So I saw all that, we broke it up, the cricket was sort of shaking a bit.
Definitely not! Definitely not!
It was shaking a little bit.
Yeah.
So I sort of prodded it, put a little leaf over it because it was a hot day. Thought I'll put a leaf there so it doesn't get overheated.
I love this. Like it's done the marathon. It's got a little. It's got Mars on the leaf, written on the leaf, and now it's just walking over the little medal.
So Suzanne, I'd leave it for a bit.
Leave it.
On.
What did you say?
Half an hour. About left it for half an hour.
What did Suzanne want to do? She wanted to interfere, did she? What did she want to do? Just sort of like.
No, she just sort of said, leave it, stop messing with it. It's probably a little bit knocked out, a little bit stunned.
Sure, let's get on with our lives, she said. Yeah.
So I put the leaf on it.
You've got in too much very liquid. Why don't we use a dishwasher? Costs us 400 quid, you dopey bald cunt.
So we go off, and half an hour later, I get back in and I said, I'm going to go and see the
Where'd
cricket.
you go? Where did you go?
Just for a walk.
But hold on, why didn't you put the dish in the dishwasher and go for a walk? I don't understand. So now now as a dishwasher sitting there bone idle, you're washing up when you could be walking, and then you're still
walking.
Well,
it's a good job I didn't go for a walk though, wasn't it? Because how would that have turned out?
That fight?
I don't know.
There would have just been a pool of blood on your back door. Porch.
So I've been out, back in, have a look, cricket's still there, noticed one of its legs gone.
Oh.
Don't know if the wasp did that, or the tea towel flick.
Or it was already disabled and that's why the wasp thought this is an easy one. What if the wasp was helping it?
It wasn't, no, honestly.
But what
it was such a commotion.
Because we're such friends and humans don't understand us and anyone interfered will definitely don't understand us, right? He's not an entomologist, right?
Well, this is when I got the computer out.
Right.
Had a look. And it's a, what was it called?
Brilliant.
I can't remember. What happened is, the wasp apparently does this a lot. and it stings them in the head.
Right, not this particular. There wasn't like a little profile of this particular wasp.
It's just an incident that happens a lot between wasps and crickets.
Right.
So it stung it in the head, and what happens is it's that whole thing that we talked about before, where it lays an egg.
Right.
So I was sort of having a look, seeing if I could see any sort of holes in its head, and it just kept sort of moving its one leg, like, I can't handle this. So
what means moving its one leg?
It was sort of just moving its one leg quite slowly, like it's just come out from an operation.
It's lost one leg, you said?
Yeah, it's lost one.
Yeah, it's moving 5 legs slowly.
No, it's one big one.
It's got one big leg.
One big leg at the back now. It's normally got 2 that it uses to jump.
Oh, I see. So, okay.
So it's now it's only got 1. It's sort of like, it looks groggy.
Is it not a grasshopper if it's jump? Is it like, what colour was it? Was it like
sort of beige?
Oh, it's probably a cricket, yeah.
So anyway,
it's important.
So you were worried that crickets aren't aware of the dangers of wasps. You did a bit of leafleting amongst the cricketing community.
I just had a look online and saw that it's a popular thing that happens. It's sort of like a bit of a mugging. He said you can leave them for about half an hour. They normally come round and they don't know they've had an egg put in their head. But
there's no way it said leave them for half an hour and they come round, they don't have an egg put in. There's no way it said that.
Well, he said they're normally stunned for about half hour.
Have you had an egg put in your head?
Fucking ostrich egg, by the way, it's coming out the top.
So anyway, I picked it up, I placed it under a little tree, I said it's in the shade again, no wasps can see it there, let's just leave it.
But you've just left that cricket to now die in agony when that maggot goes round his head and comes out a wasp and leaves the carcass.
Well, this is when Suzanne came up and said it wasn't moving. I sorted it.
What do you mean? Sorted it?
She sorted it.
What did you want to do? What did you mean?
Well, I said, what do you mean you sorted it? She said, it's best that I don't tell you.
Well, sorry.
She said she sorted it.
Wait. Do you think that we're in the mafia and we're being wiretapped? Say what happened.
No, well, she just said she sorted it, and I said, what, sorted what? Because I'd forgotten about it at that point, I was painting. And she said the cricket. Right,
what do you think she meant by sorted it?
Well, by the look on her face, the way she said it, I've known her for long enough, so I know that she meant it's not good news.
Yeah, so what happened?
So from that, I took for granted she means...
Say it!
I've stopped it being... it's no longer in misery.
So what do you mean?
What?
What did she do?
She crushed its head. Because she said it was moving about...
specifically just the head? She just crushed the head?
With a stone.
She got a tiny head-shaped stone...
Squashed it. Because that's where all the action is, isn't it? So she said it was too cruel watching it, sort of shaking about with its one leg and stuff. You had to kill it.
I imagine I had this vision that one day Suzanne just having to say to his parents,
I sorted it.
I had to put him out of his misery. I just couldn't bear to see the twitching anymore. I know you didn't like to know, but I just took a rock.
Yeah, and just squashed its head. What was in it? There was nothing in it. It just caved in.
Was there an egg in it from a...
No, it was like, you know when you get a blown egg, and then you crush it, and there was nothing... nothing in it at all.
But I just think, he seems happier, I'm certainly happier.
I was happier because... I'm much happier because... He's sort of he's more sensible without the head.
Yeah, we're still happy together, but now we use the dishwasher instead of him washing it up. When we've already got one that costs £400. What metaphor are you taking from this?
Just the way.
Yeah, so that's at the beginning. There was going to be a point you were going to extrapolate for this, like a fable. So what did you learn from that?
I thought I was doing right at the time, and that's important, isn't it?
And is it objective or subjective? You know, one person's evil is another person's good. Some people think abortion is the worst thing you could do. Others think it's a woman's right, and it's a kindness. Some people think that you should never kill under any circumstances. Other people say that some killing is morally right. Again, should an action be judged on its intent or its result? If someone said to you, "Oh, I thought I was doing a good thing," but, you know, they opened the windows and your cat fell out. I thought they didn't even know you had a cat.
Did they knock it, though, or did it just jump out?
It just jumped out.
Well, I'd say it's not my fault. Your cat's daft.
No.
It was hot in here. Right. I've opened the window.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not getting the blame for that.
No, that wasn't my point, was it? That if you open the window, right, and they come home and you go, oh my god, the cat jumped out and killed itself. You go, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I opened the window because I wanted to let some air in. I was doing a good thing.
So did I know it jumped out?
No.
I'd probably say, you sure it didn't do that before I got here this morning? Did you have the window open?
Right.
I don't think looks like it's been there a while.
So
it's a bit hard.
You instantly don't want to be culpable for your own actions.
I mean, it is your fault.
It wasn't me who did it.
It is your fault the cat's dead.
Yeah, it's an accident, but nevertheless it's still your fault.
Oh, if it's definitely me, yeah, I'd say, yeah, it jumped out. I opened the window because it was hot in here. The cat jumped out, dead. Let's go and get another one.
Right.
I wouldn't worry that much about a cat.
Right, but what if it was a baby?
Well, it's a bit awkward, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose it is. Karl, I'd like to ask you, if I may, stop twiddling that. Now, this is interesting, because you were fiddling with a bit of plastic there, and it was annoying me, and I know that a lot of things annoy Ricky, get very infuriating for him. Social etiquette. Now, that's a very, that's not obviously inscribed by law. These are just things which have built up in society. So, for instance, it's impolite to sneeze and then shake someone's hand.
Yeah.
It's...
or sneeze straight in their face and go, oh, sorry, I've got swine flu.
Now, those things are obviously good practice in terms of avoiding the spread of disease, so that makes sense. But other things
also,
are
it
more
might just
arbitrary.
be disgusting. If someone hasn't got a disease, I don't like to see someone sneeze on the pavement or sniff or scratch their arse.
So social etiquette, I mean, how do you decide... I mean, what prevents you from being truthful and honest at all times?
I don't know, there's something in you, and sometimes you can just pop it out, can't you? I've been in a situation when I've said stuff and I've thought, why did I say that?
Go on.
But it's not always... in the dentist. Last time I went to the dentist, I was sat in the reception bit, big fat woman comes up the stairs, massive she was, had a right sweat on.
Right.
She gets there, and...
out of breath.
Yeah, she was, again, you know, I mean, she was friendly, dead friendly, but kind of like, you know, leggings on, sort of, you know, shoes but not on properly. She was stood on the heel.
Yeah.
You know, like she couldn't be bothered.
Yeah.
It's like greasy hair. And she went up and she's being all happy and everything. And I think that's what annoyed me. So when she sort of said, oh yeah, I've lost weight, she was talking to the woman behind the counter. And she sort of said, yeah, I find it really difficult, especially living where I live and having to come down this high street because there's so many cake shops and everything. And she sort of said, you know, today I've walked past, normally I always have a coffee and a donut, but today, you know, I didn't have a coffee and a donut. And I just said, why was it shut? Right?
No, you didn't.
I did, honestly. Honest to God, on my mum's life. I said, why was it shut? She said, oh,
hold on, why did you butt in? She wasn't even talking
honestly,
to you.
I know, it's really, really weird. It's really
did you have
weird.
to shout across the dentist waiting room, or were you
No,
stood
it was
next to
just,
her?
it's a small waiting room, so you got the stairs, you go in, you've got about 4 chairs, and then this old desk, and I get on with the woman behind the counter, and I always sit close to it, and it was just me there, and I was talking to her about going to Corfu or something. She comes in sweating like some bison up the stairs, and she's there, and because she was showing off, it was like, well, you should have done it a long time ago. I think she annoyed me that she wanted some sort of pat on a big hefty fat back. That she hadn't bothered having a donut that day. Now, maybe it's the inner me that just came out, because I remember saying it and actually getting home saying to Suzanne, oh, I said this, I didn't even think I don't know
what you mean though.
From.
Sometimes you want to go around with people and they're going, oh, I need, you want to put them down. You want to go, I'm stock helping you because you're going to go straight back to that. You can do this, that. You know, I know you've had a lot. Just inject them in the head. Absolutely pointless. Get rid of it. Yeah, I know what you mean. But talking about social etiquette, I was in flying to Edinburgh, and I was with Matt, my assistant, and there was a bloke on a mobile phone across the way. Right, he's going, yeah, I'm just going to get on the plane now. And he kept talking that loudly to people, right? And I was fuming. Then he stopped and made another call, and I was giving him dirty looks, and Matt was going, no, sit down, son. And then he was going, in the airport, and I shouted, he's in the airport! He didn't notice, I was shouting over, I was fuming, and Matt was just getting so embarrassed.
But they don't see it though.
And people were looking at me like I was the mental case.
Yeah.
But it was so fucking loud, and I moved through to another place. But I wanted to get someone, I wanted to be policed, I want to go, right, there's a cunt over there swigging beer, thinks he's a fucking Gordon Gekko player, and he's not, he's some cunt who's got his first mobile phone. Right? But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is infringing. That's like passive smoking to me.
Yeah.
It annoys me when you hear these, awful middle-class parents talking to their kid loudly enough to let everyone know what their kid knows. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They bring up conversations because they're showing off about the kid. Toby, what's that you were saying earlier about you preferred Beethoven to... Right, okay, if that kid talks about Beethoven and Chopin, right? Do you know what I mean, though? Yeah. It's like people showing off, thinking that the world is interested in everything they fucking say. That thing about, everyone's got access, which is fine, but it's those fat fucking morons on docu-soaps that go, I speak as I fucking think, you useless fucking blob of shit.
Yes. Have an education, research, think, discuss, then offer your opinion.
And stop your kids chewing on a fucking big ball of fat. Your leg.
Got someone specific in mind there?
Oh. Well, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed the Ricky Gervais Guide to Society. I think we've sorted everything out there, Steve.
Yeah, not many questions left unanswered.
No, that's a pretty in-depth analysis of what society is and how to improve it, I think, in many ways.
Let's hope some of the big people are listening. Brown, Obama.
Yeah. And they go, okay, what's Pilkington got to say? Keep out of it. Unless it's an insect. So it's goodbye from me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Goodbye.
And from the little round-headed simian type thing we call Karl Pilkington.
Right.
The next audiobook in this series is the Ricky Gervais Guide to Law and Order, and that will be available from the 1st of December. Easy date to remember. World AIDS Day. I knew it wouldn't take off like Christmas.